Hey guys, I want to say thank you for everybody who responded to my last video, encouraging me and sending me your compassion. I really appreciate that. Can't tell you how much, because I heard from some people that I hadn't heard from before. What we're going to do right now is something completely different, something positive, but I do want to address all of those things. That it meant a lot to me that what I've been doing here for the last almost year and a half, about right, yeah, I started January of 24, and of course I had a lot of interruptions in that time, but there were spurts where I was just like, doing everything I could and doing only YouTube, like nothing else. But for the most part, it's been kind of a rocky road with the channel. So I really didn't expect that there were others out there really paying attention, except for those that I've heard from and become friends with, So especially to those of you who came out of the woodworks, kind of to say, and to wish me well and to just be kind. And I appreciate it so very much. I don't know what the channel is going to look like. I've thought about different things, like maybe we just do Zoom, maybe that would work, because then we do have a sense of community, and it is more social than just me talking to the camera to you. I don't know that my brain can process Zoom, like working together at the same time, hearing and trying to respond to all you guys. Like, I just don't know that wouldn't overwhelm my ability to have meaningful conversation with you. So I don't know. I'm willing to give it a try, because this channel is clearly just a matter of just a guild experience, where we're just being quilters, sharing what we're doing. There's zero hope that it could ever be a channel, and that I could ever work it like it would be a financially viable channel. So, why spend any time on YouTube except for the social connection, which I need, clearly, because I'm a hermit quilter. I am a recluse. And I want to make sure I'm not misrepresenting what that is. Like I don't live out in the woods somewhere where nobody knows where I am, kind of thing. I do have I have a neighbor that I talk to here, and another neighbor who just isn't home much. But, and I go into Huntsville for physical therapy, but I talk to people all the time on the phone or texting, that kind of thing. When I go in for physical therapy, about half the time I will also see my mom. But to do that, I have to take my dogs with me, and that's just more effort. So sometimes I just don't, but my mother and I talk daily, and I'm able to kind of keep up with her, and we can talk through whatever needs to be talked through the phone for the most part. But sometimes, like, she's got IT issues, or, currently trying to get her an iPad. We got her a laptop, and it wasn't a good one, and it was too hard of a conversion from using an iPad to go over to a laptop. So we're getting another iPad. So things like that is much better to be in person for. So I'm just trying to say that, 98% of the time, probably, I'm in the home and not stepping outside of the house, except for onto my patio briefly. So that's what I mean by hermit or recluse. It's just not a full life, and that's why going out with my friends was such a big benefit to me, to see the contrast, how because what you live becomes your normal, right? And you start to accept it, you start to work inside those boundaries. Well, it was just a big eye opener. It's like, okay, Dawn, what you're doing on YouTube is stupid. You can't do that. You're not living, when you're giving YouTube your absolute all. You're trying to edit, and whatever. Like, I am not able to do anything consistently. So stop trying, just stop trying. anyway, it was just, I don't know if you guys can even comprehend what that contrast was like and how that was just the contrast I needed. It's kind of like God saying, hey, look, here's your reality, and this is a lot more about what normal life is like. And just haven't had that in a long time. So much of my existence has been about just kind of existing so I can take care of medical stuff, and then try to squeeze into that a little bit of normalcy, like a little bit of the hobby of quilting. I almost said crafting, but I don't do that. Or seeing my grandbaby. My daughter will bring her by sometimes, and sometimes I'll go up there. She's about to have another baby, so I've been up a little bit more, but it's a couple hours a week, and it's all I can manage and still do anything else that day inside the house again. But then I'm making sure I use that time well. If I've already made the effort to get into a car and leave, well, then that's when I'm going to swing by the pharmacy, But that's like the extent of my normal life. And I have to embrace that and embrace who I am. I'm an artist. If I can't work for a living, even doing YouTube, if setting and editing is too much for me, then I need to embrace just being the person that God created me to be. And I am an artist, and I have creative pursuits in my mind, things I want to do. So there's some things that we've started that I want to pursue, that I need to finish the Irish chain quilt because that's for my grandbaby, and he's about to be born. And what else? The Avery quilts, somehow we're going to keep that moving. And then I got to get Vicky's quilt off the long arm. It's getting really close to being unstitched, and then I can restitch it. She sent me another one, and that's what I'm opening here. And she sent me a text last night and said she'd watched my video, which is why I've spent 7 minutes and 19 seconds talking about just that. And I hope the audio's fine on this video. I didn't go upstairs before starting. It's kind of an impromptu thing. I just wanted to, I didn't go upstairs to get the microphone, is what I'm trying to say. I just wanted to take a few moments here to open what she asked me to open and to address the video. It's meaningful to me that there's, 5 of you, 2 of you who care enough about my situation to say something nice to me. And, what we build out of this as some kind of pseudo guild opportunity, I don't know. I don't know yet. I can't promise you anything. And that's kind of the crux of the whole issue, right? Is that I just can't do that. I'm going to open this, and then I'm going to turn the camera so you can see my living room. Because while I've been setting, I have, not setting, but how do I put that? While I've had a little bit more time this week since my friends have gone and I was needing to rest from all that activity, I wanted to give some thought to how I'm going to make this living room over here my studio, how I'm going to position everything. So I did some work on that. And that experience also contributed to me just really cementing the thought that I can't continue to throw myself into being a content creator. I can't. It's serving a master I don't need to serve. Anyway, so I did give some thought to how I'm going to use this space, and I actually put a post up on the Handy Quilter Facebook group about it, and I've gotten some interesting thoughts on that. So let me open this really quickly. I'm getting tired of standing. And I might need to pull a tall stool over here. Let me do that really quickly. So you can look at my boring cabinets for a second. Okay. So when Vicky, whose quilt is on the long arm, saw my video last night, she sent me a text and said, you need to go ahead and open the box, because there's some things in there that might make you feel better. And I'm feeling fine. I want y'all to know that I am feeling like emotionally fine about things. It's good when you accept a closed door so you can go down a different path, and that's where I am. But I forgot what I was about to say. That anyway, this I had told her that I got this a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I said I'm not going to open it until I'm back doing the channel, because I wanted to open it on camera. And so she understood that. But then last night she said, go ahead and open it. There's some things in there for your dog and whatever things that might make you smile. And I thought, that's sweet, and I should open it, you know, especially since I'm not going to be doing the channel like I normally would, right? So I've got a few minutes right now, and the dogs are outside, so they won't be disturbing us, hopefully, unless they start coming and scraping on the glass door. So, the lovely card. Let's see, thinking of you. Oh, this is sweet. Just reading it over to make sure that it's something that would be nice to read. 1 Chronicles 16:11 verses in here, which is interesting because my Bible study right now is in 1 Chronicles, which is just a lot of genealogy. It's like kind of boring to read. Seek the Lord and his strength, seek his presence continuously. Yeah, pretty much. That sums up everything right there. Just a note to say, I hope you're having a great day. And there's a sweet note in here. And I don't want to read it out loud because I want you guys to feel like if you want to send me a letter that it's coming to me and not to the world, right? But I am going to read this more clearly, you know, when I'm not on camera, so I don't make y'all wait while I read it. But looking at what I'm looking at is very sweet, very sweet. There's a framed embroidery in here, and she said when she saw it, it screamed, "Get this for Dawn," which is so cool. Okay, so, okay, all right. What all do we have in here? We have, this is fleece. Did she mention fleece in here? Let me see what it says. Oh, 2 small fleece mats for your dogs so they can decide to have their own space in your quilting room or wherever. Oh, that's awesome, because I was actually thinking, I don't know why, but I had my dogs at my mom's while my friends were here, and since Ruby came back, she's not been getting on the one recliner that I had kind of forfeited to her. I keep a blanket on it, and she's not been getting back on it, and I don't know why, but I'm happy about it. But I thought I need to add more comfort for her. So these little fleece blankets will be perfect for that. So I was thinking this morning, I need to get another fleece blanket or 2. So she's sewn these up. I mean, it's no raw edges. It's seamed all the way around. That's lovely. Thank you, Vicki. I'm like, you just don't know how perfect that was. The gray in particular is going to blend in perfectly with my colors here. And you'll see when I turn the camera around that I've got paint partially on the wall. I've had that there for 3 years, actually. March 11th is when I moved in here of 22. And the week before, my old self told me that I could paint before I came, you know, like, surely, because I used to want, you know, give me a couple of days, I could paint a room or 2, you know. That didn't happen. I got a little bit of paint on the wall and had to stop. So that's been there. But I hope to get some help before I move the studio down here to completely transform that room to a different space, to a different color. Oh, good. Oh, look, this is Nature's Best 100% cotton batting. Let's see if you can see that. Lovely. I love all natural products. It feels really good. Oh, I mean, like, it feels really nice. This is it's a Missouri Star Quilt Company, Nature's Best. Good to know. I have never experienced their batting. Natural color, 4-ounce medium weight, pre-shrunk, stitch 8 inch apart. So it's free from polyscrim and resin. Yes. So that means it probably has some stretch to it. So you have to be careful when you load that on the long arm. What else do we have? Oh, I bet this is a framed embroidery. This is great, Vicki. Okay, I gotta see what she said about this. Oh, she made the frame embroidery. Okay, I'll share this part of her letter. She goes, I made the framed embroidery when I saw it in the store, and it screamed, "Get this for Dawn." It was right after watching one of your Avery Quilts videos when you were having difficulties deciding on how to lay out the blocks. She says, it wasn't meant as an insult, more of an empathetic gesture. I think quilters by nature like to overthink things. Maybe that's why I'm a quilter, because I am an overthinker. But yeah, this is great. Look at that. You're getting to see the reflection of the pond in the background in the window. Hold on, let me overthink this. Isn't that great? I love it. Absolutely love it. This is definitely going to go into the studio. That's the thing about the new studio that I think I'm going to miss is upstairs I've got wall space, which is part of my problem with that space too, is I have less view of outside because the windows are smaller. Here I got a lot of nature out right outside of the door and the window. I got the lake and I got the pond, and that's nice, and it helps me to not feel like I'm closed in when I'm spending so much time in the house. Okay, this should be her quilt top. Wait, no, this is probably the, wait. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Do I have two tops in here, or is one the backing? Again, I got to go back to the card. I should have just read it. It would have taken us less time, right? Okay, I don't remember what's going on here from our conversations. Because I know that, oops, something just fell over. I know that one of these is for a friend, and she said, don't worry about the time, how long it takes, because my friend, I think she said is out of the country or something like that. And that's something I want to address. Like the long arming, I still want to do, but if you send me a quilt to do, you're going to have to be patient with me, because I'm just not going to be that kind of person that can do one a week. You know, I might be able to do one or two a month. I welcome doing your quilt for you. Like, it's a blessing to me to use the long arm and to quilt quilts together. And to be able to do that for other people and to make a quilt top into a quilt is just a cool thing. So I don't want you to consider that that's a dead end too. It's just a roller coaster with everything else in my body, in my life. You know, as this body dictates what I do and what roller coaster it's got me on, then I will do it when I can, and when I can't, I won't. So just wanted you to know that. Okay, this is a lovely quilt. It's got a lot of individual squares that are framed out, and they're all individual notes from people. I think she said she was a teacher. We've discussed this in my text, in our text messages. Got hair on me. Seems like she was a teacher, and these are students who have signed blocks for her. Isn't that awesome? And then so Vicki just took them and framed them all in different colors and kind of a very scrappy look. This is lovely. This is going to be a treat. Gonna be a treat. All right, so let me look at this other one. It's probably the backing that she sent, but it's pieced as well. I think I remember that correctly, that's what she said. So she put piecing in the middle. So if this is, yeah. My neck was getting tired from holding that. Okay, so this is folded in half. And so this is running down the middle of the back, which is a great way to handle things. I will tell you a little tip that I learned when I started long arming is if you have a pieced backing, you don't want to piece it in the middle. Let me back up. If you possibly can, put that backing on so that the piecing is running horizontal to the back bar instead of vertical at a right angle, then you're gonna get more consistency on your stitching and on your tension of your quilt sandwich. That as, like if you load this into a, you load this into the long arm, you know, and these extra seams are all, once it starts getting rolled onto that back bar as you progress the quilt, you know, as you've quilted and what's been quilted rolls onto that back bar, you just get a lot of buildup. And so then that changes the tension of the area that you're working on in front of it. I hope that makes some sense. So this was a real pleasure, a real nice way to start my day. And 21 minutes, so I'm gonna try to make this part of the video really quick. Just want to show you the space and what I'm kind of thinking about how things will convert. So hang on, I'm going to move the camera a little bit. So close your eyes if you get motion sickness, and I'll tell you when to open them. This is why I did this downstairs too. Besides, I didn't want to go back up. You can see that this column hasn't been finished out. There's the kitchen area in general has a couple of things like that that's not been finished and just haven't been able to prioritize them. Let me turn this down. You won't be able to see me as well, but there's just no need for you to see more ceiling than you see of the room. So right now, this is kind of my sitting area. Like I sit in this rocking chair and I do my red light therapy, my vagus nerve therapy, and I have the heated blanket that helps with pain, and it helps just to restore me as I am often in that position. So I really like having a sitting area close to the kitchen. So I'm going to be getting, right here, I'm going to turn the camera again. Right here I have Billy bookcases from IKEA. So on the way back from Charleston, I'm going to pick up some more of these to go in this area right here. That'll go from where these end, and there's another column in between them, but from where those end over to the glass door. So that will give me some storage and for the studio down here. Because as you know, the cabinets that I put upstairs, I don't know that they would even make it down the stairs if we tried to move them. They're just kind of rickety and they were terrible. And I'm just going to leave them in that space for some overflow storage so that any overflow storage has a place to go. I don't like having extra stuff I don't need. I really am kind of in a mode in my life where I'm trying to not live as a minimalist, but not have anything that I'm not using and don't plan to use. I don't want to keep things just for keeping things. I forget I don't have a mic on. I can't get too far from the phone. There's a concept called Swedish death cleaning, and it's basically, the concept is it's your responsibility to get rid of the things that you've brought in under your possession through your life, instead of you dying and leaving it to everybody else. So you just, especially in this season of life, be getting rid of stuff, you know? Anyway, enough about that. So you don't have to see my face, but you won't hear me if I am not close to the phone. So the space, let me see if I can get you, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do this too. Can't hold it there for long, okay? So, take a good visual in your mind, because I got to put the phone down to talk to you, because I can't look up there and make sure I'm holding the phone steady. It's a strain on my neck. Sorry about the close-up of my forehead there. Okay, so you can see that paint. That's what the color is going to be. It's called Sherwin-Williams no, I was going to say Tuscany, but that's not it. Anyway, it's an off-white. It's kind of a warm off-white, which is what I want in this room and in that room. I don't like the blue. It's just not, I just don't like the blue. I just want it to all be that white. So this credenza here is 2 pieces, and so that will go into the dining room. When I take the dining room table out, my son's going to take it, which I'm glad, because I really, really like that table. And if I'm not going to get a lot of money for it, for selling it, which I think I would, I mean, I paid a good bit of money for it, you know, 20 years ago. Yeah, about 20 years ago. Then it's good that it's going to kind of stay in the family. So the dining room table comes out, and these will go into that room for storage in that room. There's a sideboard in there that will come out of there and go into this space because it's taller and it's just prettier. But it is 6 feet long, so it's not as conducive to making that space modular. Like, it's a smaller space, and I'm asking a lot of it, so it's better to have storage in that room that can be broken into 2 different footprints instead of one 6 foot long footprint. Hope that makes sense. It's a smaller space, and it has 2 door openings, one of the large cased opening and one of the door. So it has some parameters that is bothersome. Okay, so Billy bookcases go here. And then what I've decided is, initially, I'm going to straighten up the camera a little bit. There we go. Is that the long arm I thought would come from the fireplace towards the kitchen, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it horizontal, parallel to the fireplace. It took a lot of measuring to figure this out and to make sure that I've got enough room behind the long arm that I am not tripping and that I'm not having to sidestep. And I don't want to block this door, this sliding glass door, because dogs go in and out that 1,000 times a day. And then this other doorway I don't want blocked because it's 12 foot long and I only have 167 inches across that back. But I'd rather it be pushed back against that fireplace so that towards the front on this side of it, I can put my project table and have room around it to work. And I think that's going to be fine. So I'm going to be pushing the long arm over to this left wall, this outside wall, to maximize the space I have on the right side of it to go into, I'm going to move the camera, to go into that room, because that room, because that room is the other portion of the space that I will be using as studio. The sewing table that I have upstairs won't also fit in here. So it's going to go into that room back there. And something else won't go in there. Oh, my big husky table will go back into that little room. And something else. Oh, little trolley table that I used to use for pressing whenever, last year whenever I was doing the Blockheads 5 Group 2. So that's fine because I want that space I want it to be an L-shaped studio space. It's a lot of space, and I'm thrilled to have that much space. But if I'm going to be a hermit for the rest of my life, I need to be mentally engaged in things, and a creative pursuit is a way to do that. What was I going to say? Yeah, so that's kind of it, I think. So the project table will be in front of the long arm, and then I'll have a sitting area here too in front of where the Billy bookcases are going. If you remember, up in the studio, I have 2 like little club chairs, and I was going to put them here. And I like that so that when people are here, they have a comfortable place to sit while they're engaging, here in the kitchen, because people always congregate around the kitchen. The thing that I don't have figured out is where my rocking chair is going to go. I love my rocking chair. It's more comfortable than most chairs because it gives me a firm back, and it's low, so it's not, I don't know how to put that, like I have short legs, and so that's good. But the idea that I can rock in it, it kind of helps with my hips. I don't know. There's just variables to it that makes it more conducive for me than even the recliner. So, and it's harder, it takes more time to get in and out of the recliner. It's one of those that is powered to move back and powered to stand you up. Like it will stand you all the way up. And that's been very helpful at times. But that just takes more time. And then the dogs try to get on my lap when I'm in it. So I know when the club chairs are here, I'll use that as my sitting area primarily, and that's great. But I don't know where my rocking chair is going to go, and I don't want to lose my rocking chair. So I'm going to be thinking about that. Gonna let you go. It's been 31 minutes. I know the lighting isn't fantastic. If we're going to do this, this is how videos are probably going to look, but I'll try to keep my microphone on in future videos. Appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you, Vicki. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you so much for all of you for reaching out and saying all the kind things that you did. It's a new season. It's not a bad season. We all have our challenges. Learning to live inside of our challenges is the important thing, right? Seeing the challenge so that we can recognize where we go is necessary, but we can't keep our focus on the fact that there's a roadblock, right? So roadblock is here. We're going this way. What God does with this, God does with this. Keep moving that needle. See you soon.